Welcome to Globewise Entertainment, where forgotten gems, cult classics, and must-watch movies come back to life. Before you dive into the twisted world of Final Destination, Bloodlines, we've got 5 essential films you need to watch to fully grasp the horror, the suspense, and the deeper meaning behind death's design. From supernatural thrills to brutal morality games, these films will set the stage for what's coming next. If you haven't subscribed to Globewise Entertainment yet, hit that button now, and don't forget to drop a comment below telling us which movie on this list shocked you the most, or which one you're watching tonight. Let's get into it. 1. Final Destination 2000. The Vision, a Final Destination story. Alex Browning gripped the armrest of his airplane seat as Flight 180 prepared for takeoff. The engines roared, and the hum of nervous passengers buzzed through the cabin. He tried to calm himself, but something felt wrong. Suddenly, a wave of panic crashed over him. The plane lurched in his mind, ripping apart midair in a ball of fire. He saw flames, screams, metal tearing through flesh. It was vivid, real. Too real. Gasping for breath, Alex leapt from his seat, knocking over a flight attendant's drink cart. "The plane's gonna explode," he shouted, frantic. A struggle broke out. Security escorted him and a handful of others off the flight. Moments later, from the terminal window, they all watched in horror as Flight 180 rose into the air, only to burst into a fiery inferno minutes after takeoff. They were supposed to be dead. But death doesn't like to be cheated. One by one, the survivors began dying in bizarre, gruesome accidents. No killers, no weapons. Just fate correcting itself. Alex realized the terrifying truth. Death has a plan. And escaping once only meant that now it was hunting them in order. He had seen the signs too late. Now he raced against the invisible hand of fate, desperate to unravel the pattern before it reached him again. But with every breath, every blink, he knew. You can't cheat death. Not forever. 2. Final Destination 5, 2011. The bridge was just the beginning. Sam stood at the edge of the suspension bridge, frozen. The vibrations underfoot were wrong. Too rhythmic. Too violent. Moments ago, he and his coworkers had been laughing on their way to a corporate retreat. Now everything was cracking, metal groaning, concrete snapping, and wind howling like death itself. Then it hit him. A vision or something worse. In his mind, the bridge collapsed. Steel cables whipped like serpents. Asphalt split open. His friends fell screaming one by one. Olivia smashed against a support beam. Isaac was impaled by rebar. Peter burned alive in the bus. And Sam fell. Endless sky above. Screams swallowed by the roar of the river below. Then, he gasped. Everything was normal again. The bridge was whole. His coworkers were smiling, chatting. But not for long. Everybody off the bridge. Now! Sam screamed. Confused and panicked, a few followed. Most didn't. Seconds later, the bridge tore apart exactly as he saw. Sam saved 7 lives that day. But fate doesn't like to be cheated. One by one, the survivors began to die, freak accidents that felt too precise to be chance. An eye surgery gone wrong. A gymnast's fatal slip. A wrench dropped at the wrong second. Sam knew death had a design, and they had disrupted it. Now there were only 2 left, him and his girlfriend, Molly. They ran, they hid, they prayed for a loophole. But fate has no loopholes, only illusions. And as the final twist of fate closed in, Sam realized the truth. They never escaped. They only delayed the inevitable. 3. The Omen, 1976. The Boy in the Church. Rain lashed against the stained glass windows of St. Bartholomew's Church as Father Holloway lit the final candle for the evening mass. The silence inside was sacred, until it was broken by the soft creak of the ancient oak doors. A young boy, maybe 6 years old, stepped in. Pale skin, jet black hair, and eyes too cold for a child. "Are you lost, son?" the priest asked, his voice echoing. The boy didn't answer. He simply smiled and walked past the pews, trailing his fingers along the wooden edges. He stopped at the altar and stared up at the crucifix with amusement. like it was a joke he'd heard 1,000 times. Father Holloway felt the air grow colder. The candle flames bent sideways, as if repelled by some invisible force. Then bang, the pipe organ blared a single deafening note. No one had touched it. The boy looked at the priest. "It doesn't like me," he whispered. "The church." "What are you?" Father Holloway gasped. The boy tilted his head, smiled wider and said, "You'll know tomorrow." The next morning, St. Bartholomew's was found burned to the ground. No survivors. No cause. Only one thing remained untouched. A single photograph taken at the church door the night before. In the far left corner, the shadow of the boy was caught mid-step, but his face was nothing but a black void. And above his head, a faint, curved line resembling a number. 6. 4. Flatliners, 1990. Flatliners. Echoes of the Other Side. 5 med students at Granger University had one thing in common: a dangerous curiosity about the afterlife. Inspired by the long-forgotten experiments of 1990s legend Nelson Wright, they revived the forbidden project under the radar. They called it Flatlining 2.0, a modernized death-defying experiment using AI monitoring, neural feedback loops, and a secret location beneath the campus hospital. The rules were simple. 1 minute flatlined. No longer. The first subject, Dara, slipped into death and came back gasping, eyes wide, claiming she saw a shadow watching her from a blood-red corridor. Everyone laughed. Side effects, they said. But then came the whispers. Unseen things shifting in reflections. Her old dog, dead for years, standing in her room rotting but wagging. One by one the students tried it. And one by one they brought something back. Milo the skeptic began sleepwalking into busy roads, whispering names of people long dead. Ray the tech genius hacked into the system to stop the hallucinations and electrocuted himself. Death let him go but took his sight. It wasn't guilt chasing them. It was balance. A force that demanded their return. They hadn't just seen the afterlife, they'd fractured something deeper. Dara was the last to run. She tried to burn the lab, destroy the recordings, bury the evidence. But on her final night, she saw the figure from her vision again. Not a ghost. Not a demon. Death itself. It smiled. They flatlined. They came back. But death doesn't forget. And it always collects. 5. Saw 2004. The last choice. Derek Lorne had always cheated the system. Skimming money from clients, faking safety inspections, and stepping over anyone who got in his way. He believed in one truth. Consequences only came to those too stupid to avoid them. But that belief shattered the morning he woke up in a cold, rusted room, wrists shackled, with a surgical mask over his mouth and a buzzing TV flickering in the corner. A distorted voice crackled through the screen. "Derek, you've taken lives through negligence and deceit. You have 1 hour to prove yours is worth saving." Lights snapped on, revealing a table with 2 objects, a bone saw and a tape recorder. His left ankle was chained to the floor. Blood already stained the blade. His heart raced as the tape continued. "Behind your greed were names, victims who never saw it coming. Now the clock is ticking. Will you do what they never had a chance to?" Derek screamed, pulling at the chain until his skin tore. He had always been the one pulling strings. But not here. Not now. 45 minutes passed. Sweat, blood, and panic blurred into one as he gripped the saw. He thought of the final girl from his favorite horror movie. She escaped. She fought back. So would he. The saw met skin. A minute later, the screen flickered one last message. "Time's up." The door clicked open. But Derek was too far gone to walk through it. And there you have it. 5 chilling, mind-bending movies to prepare you for the terrifying ride that is Final Destination Bloodlines. Each one adds a piece to the puzzle of fate, death, and the twisted rules that govern them all. Which one gave you chills, or blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below. We read every one. And hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to Globewise Entertainment for more hidden gems, banned classics, and the wildest stories in horror and beyond. Because here we don't just watch movies, we dig up what they don't want you to see. Until next time, watch your step. Death might be watching.